Today's Tech Talk is all about how to pick the best rod and reel combo for Engetsu or Slow-jig style fishing. Shimano has a wide range of rod and reel combos that will work for Slow-jig or Engetsu style fishing, but they also have some specialised systems that are specifically designed for this style of fishing. We do recommend using a low profile bait casting style reel. It's a lot more ergonomically designed for this style of fishing. Basically with a click of a finger, it's out of gear, handle in gear, out of gear, in gear. We have the level wind, which spreads the line nice and even so you can focus on working your lure or fighting a fish. Nice big power arm and power knob for when you're working your lure. It makes it a lot more comfortable. The rods have been purpose designed for working these Slow-jig or Engetsu style lures. They come with trigger grips or palm grips. So like I say, everything fits in your palm of your hand. The rods are quite short, around about that 6'8", 6'10" length. A good Engetsu rod is going to have a very, very soft tip. These specialised rods have nibble tips on them, so when the fish is actually coming up and mouthing or biting these lures, it cannot feel any tension of the line at all because these nibble tips are so soft. The other great thing about a nibble tip is once you do hook up, it keeps a nice even tension on the lure and hooks to stop those hooks from coming out. A good Engetsu rod is going to have a spiral wrap system because of the that nibble tip. So what happens is the guides are on the top and they gradually wrap around the rod till they are on the underside of the nibble tip, and that spreads the load and puts an even pressure on the rod. The ideal braid size for Engetsu or Slow-jig style fishing is in that sort of PE 1.5 to PE 2, so roughly 15 to 20 pound line. We like to use the multicolour braid. It allows you to see exactly how far you're dropping your lure down, and if you're working with fish off your sounder and you can see where fish are feeding, it makes it a very accurate way of fishing to get that lure into the bite zone. The braid, we use either Kariki or Oshia. Both are 8 carrier braids, very subtle, durable, hard wearing, and they knot up really well being 8 carrier braid. For the leader system, we only use fluorocarbon in that 16 to 25 pound size. It's all about keeping the gear as light as possible to get the most bites. Because you're using such small hooks, you always have a tendency of hooking in the corner of the mouth or in the lip area, so there's no need to have a real heavy leader because there's really no fear of it getting bitten off or abrasion in the corner of the mouth. So the lightest possible leader you can use. The great thing about using a overhead style setup is when you're dropping it, you've got full control and feel any bites on the drop, but there's nothing stopping you using also a good quality spinning rod and reel combo. This one here is 7 foot long. It's a great size, it's got a nice sensitive tip on it. It's ideally suited for soft bait fishing or using the Colt Sniper, but we can also use it for Engetsu or slow jigging as well. The great thing about a spinning reel is if you're casting in front of the boat to try and get your lure as far away from possible, so when you drift through your vertical, when you're jigging, a spinning reel can be a good option as well and nice and easy to cast. For line capacity on both spinning and overhead, we're looking for around about 150 to 300 metres of line. So there you go guys, there's a couple of options for Engetsu or Slow-jig style fishing.